Welcome to the very first podcast of Work Simpler. And today I'm here to share with our teachers how you can make creating assessments a lot easier for you. But before we get started, make sure that you like this video and also that you subscribe to this channel. I have a lot more coming for you that's going to be fantastic, and I'll explain that at the end. So let's go ahead and continue with our video. If you happen to be in a curriculum area, for example, my curriculum, I teach Adobe products in high school. There's not a lot of assessments that come with it, if any, actually. So a lot of the time that we spend creating assessments is not only making sure we have the correct answers, but I feel like the most time-consuming part is creating the question distractors, especially if you're doing multiple choice. So what I'm here to share with you today is how you can use OpenAI chat to create your assessment questions, put them into a Microsoft form, and then have it self-grade. You're going to want to watch the full episode because it's not just the OpenAI part, but it is also how you can get those questions and format them properly into a Word document so you can upload it to Microsoft Forms and it will create the self-grading assessment for you. So do watch the whole thing. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it does make your life easier, and I'll see you back at the end of the screencast. So we're going to dive into this by first creating an OpenAI account. We're going to join the chat GPT beta. We're going to start a conversation, and then we're going to work our way into pasting our results into Word, and then using that document to create a self-graded quiz, or an automated quiz rather, in Microsoft Forms. So what I did was I went to openai.com and I clicked on chat GPT. And then you're going to notice it gives you a button to try chat GPT. Since I'm already logged in, my account has already opened along with my chat history. But for you, you will need to choose a method to log in. That could as easily as be a Microsoft account, which allows you to connect, or it could be creating an account from scratch. But in any event, we are in Chat GPT, and we're going to take a look at creating a 3-question quiz. So what I could do in this case, with this in front of me, is enter in a prompt for ChatGPT to create. So I could create a multiple choice question on who discovered America in 14, a little off of my 392. And then I'm going to hit enter. And then it's going to start processing that question. And it's really cool because it does come up with who discovered America. And Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, Leif Erikson, or Marco Polo. And the correct choice is Christopher Columbus. Now, sometimes it may not be accurate, but that's okay. In this case, it's accurate because we fed it, we said 1492 exactly. But even if it's not 100% correct, that is okay in my book, because a lot of the time that teachers spend on creating their own tests and assessments is not necessarily the correct answer in the multiple choice question. It is actually the correct or the incorrect answers or the distractors. So even if OpenAI isn't 100% accurate, although it is in this case, like I said, we are still saving ourselves time. So what we are going to do now is we're going to take this question, we're going to copy it, and then I'm going to open it up and paste it into a Microsoft Word document. Okay, so I'll paste it in for now. And you'll notice that when you paste it in, it may come in formatted like this. If you easily go to the edit menu, in a Mac, you can do paste and match formatting. If you're in a Windows computer, you can go to paste special and just choose unformatted text. And we're going to leave it like this for now. So the next question that we might ask or enter into our chat GPT is something like this. So I typed in create a multiple choice question for when did the American Revolution begin. I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to give me a list of dates. Now, let's say that I didn't like what it gave me. I could, in this case, click the regenerate response button, and it will attempt to either redo the, it will probably redo the distractors. So what you can do is you can click the regenerate response button if you don't like the choices that it provides, and it will rephrase the question. But in this case, I like it, so I'm going to just take that question, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to switch back to Microsoft Word, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go to Edit, I'm going to go to Paste Special, and Unformatted Text. So now we're going to move on to our third question, and for our third question, it will be create a multiple choice question for who the first, let's do this, second president of the United States was. And I'm going to hit enter. And then you're going to see that it comes up and it says John Adams was the third or second president of the United States. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to copy that answer. I'm going to switch over to Word and I'm going to paste it in. Okay, so I have my document here and it's ready almost. Now, the thing is that if we were to save this document and just import it into a Microsoft form, what you're going to find out is that it's not going to pull it correctly. So what it actually looks for when it imports is a few things. The first thing is that each question has a number. So what I did there was I just typed 1 period, hit the space bar, and it automatically indented it as a number. The second thing is that it's going to look to make sure that these are lettered. Now, it does look like they're lettered. It's just not an automatically formatted list. So we're going to go ahead and change that by simply going to our numbering, and then we can just choose our letters. Same thing here. We're going to go put a 2 in front of it with a period. It starts to auto-format it. I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to go over and I'm going to change the lettering. Kind of the same thing here with my third question. And then I'm going to go in and number these by letter. Okay, so I have my quiz. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to put this into my desktop folder, just so I know where it is. I'm going to just call it Social Studies Quiz. And I'm going to click Save. Now, the last thing you can do to keep track of what you're doing in ChatGPT is if you click the Edit button next to your chat, we can name this, actually, we could call this Social Studies Quiz. And maybe Quiz 1, because maybe that's what we're calling it. And it will save those answer choices. Once I show you how to get to this form, we're going to flip back and I'm going to show you some other cool things you can do in ChatGPT with how things are phrased and the ability level of those questions. So let's move on to opening Microsoft Forms and we'll import this document. So I'm going to go into Microsoft 365 and I'm going to click on Forms. Some of you, it may show up in your list immediately. If not, you can go to All Apps at the bottom, and then you can click on Forms. So next what we're going to do is we're going to import that document. Sometimes that button, I believe in one interface, it was up here in the corner that would say Import. But if it doesn't appear, you're going to go down to the All My Forms link in the middle right-hand corner. And then you're going to go up to the button that says Quick Import. Here it's going to ask us for the file that we just made. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it to upload it. And then I'm going to choose my Social Studies Quiz document. And then it wants us to know what we're going to do it as. This time we're going to not choose a form, but we're going to choose a quiz. And it's going to start converting the file for us. once it's finished, it's going to say, do you want to import another one or start a review? In our case, we're going to start the review because we need to tell it what the correct answers are. So you'll see that those questions are now in here. We just need to give it the correct information. So, who discovered America in 1492? Well, that was Christopher Columbus. So I'm going to check the box there. Of course, the American Revolution started in 1775, so we'll click that. And then the second president of the United States was John Adams. And then we're going to have to assign some points to this if you would like. I just make all my questions 1 point on our example here. So once you do that, you can do a couple of other things, which is you can add a description, maybe some some instructions for the students. So the funny thing was I went into ChatGPT and I am going to create some instructions. So I can tell it to create instructions, and this is just an example, that you can leave for students who are completing a quiz online. And then it's going to try to create some instructions for you. Now, you might say, well, that looks like a good list of instructions, but the problem is I teach at school and they always have a stable internet connection. So I can tell it to remove number 1 from the list above. Okay? And now it's going to start relisting these instructions. Now, Microsoft Forms doesn't have a pause button if you look at number 6, so then we can say remove option number 6 from above. Okay? And this is just as an example. I don't know what you would do personally with your quizzes. It depends on the teacher. So now we think this looks good, but the problem is if we copy and paste it, we're gonna pick up those numbers. So I'm gonna tell it to change the list to bullet points. And there you go, you get a bulleted list. So we're gonna, once this is done generating them, just for our example, we'll copy and paste these in. Now, when you give this to your students, this is going to be automatically graded, which is going to be nice. And it is a really good way of doing a study guide, so I've come to find out. So what you can do here is you can modify your settings to the quiz. So if you go to settings here, you have a few things. Of course, you only want people in the organization to respond. So you're going to make sure record name is checked. If you want only one response per person, you can check that box too. You can do some other things, progress bar, you can shuffle questions. You can also, underneath each quiz question, under, I guess you would call this the ... you can choose the option that says shuffle options. So you can check that. To give you an idea here, under when did the American Revolution begin? That one's not checked, so I could check it and would shuffle these choices for every quiz attempt for your students and who you distribute that to. So once you do that, you can click the collect response button, and then you can get the link to copy it to put into your Blackboard, Moodle, Canvas site, or you can actually send it to your individual students by typing in their names. So to review what we've done, we've created a multiple choice questions within AI. The really cool thing is, even if you don't use Microsoft Forms for this, you can actually tell OpenAI to create a matching question, and it will do matching questions too. I just didn't demonstrate that because that's not a feature within Microsoft Forms to be able to do yet. More importantly, the reason why I chose Microsoft Forms for this one is because what you can do in there is you can upload a Word document and it will do the self-grading quiz for you. Certainly, you can take any of these questions and copy and paste between your screens to whether if you use Canvas, Blackboard, Moodle. Those are all great learning management systems, and you could definitely do that too. Another caveat is I'm not aware of anything yet that allows you to take a quiz that is graded within Microsoft Forms and to be able to transfer that grade into your student information system that manages your grade book. If you do know of any of that, do go ahead and you can drop that information into the comments below. You can also ask questions in the comments below and tell me what you thought. In the next episode, next few episodes, I have some great things planned, including how to implement Microsoft Lists to create a better flow to your day, as well as how to better manage information that you need to get to your staff if you're a part of a large school, maybe even a smaller school where you feel like you need to share information better. So we'll be exploring SharePoint lists, either personal and in SharePoint, as well as some file sharing exercises and so forth. So I look forward to having you all join me each week and enjoy, and I'll see you next time.